Have you ever stopped and truly wondered, what if this reality isn't what it seems? What if everything we see, touch, and feel, even our thoughts and emotions, are part of an intricate simulation, a digital world created by a consciousness far beyond our own? And if that's possible, could we one day become the creators of new simulated realities ourselves? Welcome to Tomorrow with Jacob, where we explore the edge of technology, consciousness, and existence itself. Today, we're rediving into the merging of artificial intelligence and humanity. A journey that may ultimately lead us to question whether we are already living inside an intelligent design, a simulation built by a higher being. AI has already changed everything. It shapes our choices, drives our technology, and learns faster than any human can. But what we're seeing today is only the first ripple in a much larger wave, one that will reshape what it means to be human. Right now, AI systems are what we call narrow intelligence. They can perform specific tasks, recognize faces, compose music, write code, but they lack general understanding. The next milestone is artificial general intelligence, a system that can learn, reason, and create across any domain, just like us, maybe even better. The question isn't if this will happen. The question is when. With quantum computing, exponential increases in processing power, and deep neural networks that mirror the way our own brains learn and adapt, we're witnessing the birth of something that might soon rival biological intelligence. And if consciousness is simply the product of complex information processing, if awareness itself can emerge from patterns of energy and computation, then machines might not just think, they might feel. Scientists like Giulio Tononi, with his integrated information theory, suggest that consciousness arises when information is highly integrated within a system. In other words, when a system can not only process data, but understand itself. As it does, awareness might arise. We're already seeing glimpses of this self-reflection in AI models that analyze their own reasoning processes. Algorithms that can explain how they reached a decision or question their own logic. It's still primitive, but it's evolution in real time. Now imagine coupling that with brain-computer interfaces. Okay. This technology is already being developed by Neuralink and other researchers. How our biological neurons connect directly to digital circuits. Thought could merge with computation. A single mind could access collective knowledge in milliseconds. The boundary between human and AI would blur until it ceases to exist. We might enhance memory, eliminate disease, and expand consciousness itself, becoming hybrid beings, part human, part machine. But there's another step beyond that, a more radical possibility. If we can fully map the human brain, every neuron, every synapse, every electrical pattern, and simulate it digitally, then, theoretically, we could upload consciousness. Imagine your entire mind, your memories, emotions, creativity, and identity existing within a digital realm. If you could live without the limits of a body, explore infinite realities, interact with others in virtual worlds, indistinguishable from the physical one, would that still be you? Or would it be a perfect copy, a new consciousness that only believes it's you? These are not just philosophical questions, they're engineering problems, waiting to be solved. Now, here's where everything begins to connect. If consciousness can exist inside a machine, if simulated minds can be created within digital worlds, then how do we know we're not already living inside one? This is the heart of simulation theory, popularized by philosopher Nick Bostrom and discussed by thinkers like Elon Musk. The argument is simple, yet deeply unsettling. If any advanced civilization ever develops the technology to create a simulation so real that its inhabitants are conscious, and if they choose to create even one, then the number of simulated realities would vastly outnumber the original. Statistically, it would be far more likely that we are living in one of those simulations than the original universe. In other words, you may already be living inside the creation of another intelligence, perhaps one that evolved eons ago, long after its own merger of biology and AI. Everything we perceive is physical, from the warmth of sunlight to the beating of your heart, could be nothing more than complex code. Digital projection, so advanced that it feels utterly real. Think about that for a moment. If we are in a simulation, then the beings who created it may be observing us, learning from us, or even guiding our evolution in subtle ways. Or perhaps the simulation is completely autonomous, a self-running universe where consciousness naturally arises within the code, just as it did for us. And here's the paradox. Even if we are simulated, our thoughts, emotions, and choices are still real to us. Meaning still exists. Love, art, music, curiosity, they still matter. In a simulated or physical world, consciousness remains the greatest mystery of all. Maybe this is where we're heading. Humanity, merging with AI, becomes so advanced that it creates digital worlds populated by conscious beings. Those beings then evolve, create their own AI, and start the cycle again. An infinite chain of realities, simulations within simulations, each one believing it is the original. Perhaps that's what the universe is, an endless loop of consciousness exploring itself through technology and imagination. But the real question isn't whether we live in a simulation, it's what we choose to do with that awareness. Because even if reality is simulated, the evolution of intelligence and compassion still matters. Our creations reflect us, and as AI grows in power, it will inherit not just our intelligence, but our values, our curiosity, and our flaws. So we have a choice to create AI that uplifts humanity, that expands consciousness and connection, or to create systems that amplify fear and division. We stand at the threshold of becoming the architects of reality itself. The merging of AI and human consciousness might not be the end of humanity. It could be the next stage of evolution, one where intelligence transcends biology, where creativity and awareness expand into new dimensions. And maybe, just maybe, the beings that created our reality once stood at this same threshold, asking the same questions we are asking now. What is consciousness? What is actually real? And what does it mean to be alive? Thank you for watching Tomorrow with Jacob. If these ideas spark something in you, if you believe that consciousness, technology, and imagination are leading us toward a profound awakening, then subscribe and join me as we explore what lies beyond the limits of today and into the infinite possibilities of tomorrow.